In this lecture, we are going to discuss crystal structure and the problems related in this crystal structure. Now, these problems are very much important for net related examinations. Now, let us discuss a few problems. First, let us consider the problem, the number one. Question number one. If your plane is parallel to the coordinate axis, the corresponding Miller index is, there are four options. Option A is 1, B is 0, option C is infinity, option D is 1 by 2. Now, this answer can be obtained very easily because this is parallel to the coordinate x-axis. Therefore, the intercept on the x-axis is infinity because it is parallel to the x-axis. So first you have to find the intercept. Then find the reciprocal. We have already discussed the procedure in my previous lecture. So you have to find the reciprocal. This is 0. Therefore, since we are discussing only the Miller index of only one Miller index, therefore the corresponding Miller index is 0. So the option B is correct. Let us take the second problem. The Miller indices of a plane passing through the 3 points having coordinates 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, half, 1 by 4. There are 4 options. 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, and option D is 2, 1, 1. Now here, there are 2 intercepts are given, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. These are the 2 intercepts on the coordinate axis, whereas the third one is not the intercept. So it is a slightly different problem. So 2 intercepts are given. One is a point which lies on the plane is given of 1 by 4. Therefore, here this problem can be done in a slightly different way. Now in an orthogonal lattice, taking the x coordinate axis along A, y axis along vector B, and z axis along C, the equation of h-scale plane whose intercepts are. So if you have this is the plane, h-scale plane, and it makes an intercept along x, y, z axis. If this is a h-scale plane, then the intercepts are given by a by x, b by k, c by m. So these are the intercepts. So if the plane is given, the intercept can be obtained this way. So now let us obtain the equation of the plane. F of x function, this is a function of x, y, z. This is the equation of the plane. The equation of the plane is given by h divided by the intercept, y divided by the intercept, plus z by the intercept, which must be 1. So since the intercepts are x by a by h, b by k, and c by l, therefore this is the equation of the plane. H x by a plus k y by b plus l z by c. So this is the equation of the plane. This is a constant, which is the equation of the surface. Now this surface is having a point 0, 0, 1, because 0, 0, 1 is the intercept on the x-axis, but it is a point on the plane. So you substitute x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 1. From this, by solving, you know L is equal to C. You can find L is equal to C. Similarly, the same equation having a point 1, 0, 0 is another point which is on the surface. So for x, y, z equal to 1, 0, 0, you substitute the x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 0, the equation of the plane. So you will get this equation by solving this. H is equal to a. Then when x comma y comma z is equal to the third point. This point is half comma 1 by 4, which lies on the surface. So you substitute x is equal to half, y is equal to half, z is equal to half in the equation of the plane. Then by solving this, you will have this expression 2h by a plus 2k by b plus l by c is equal to 4. Now we have already found that h is equal to a and l by c. So substituting h is equal to a and l is equal to c, solving this, k is equal to b by 2. Therefore, your h scale values are h we have already determined a, this is b by 2 and c, dividing the unit translation along the crystal axis. So here along this one, the unit translation is a. So you have to, if you divide a by a, you will get 1. B by 2, if you divide unit translation b, you will get a half, and along the here the unit translation is c. So if you divide, you will get. So if you divide by unit translation, you will get a 1 half 1. Now let us clear the fractions. So if you clear the fractions, this is a 2 1 2. Therefore, the molar indices is 2 1 2. So 2 1 2. So this is the option is correct. Now let us take the third problem. So this is your question. Calculate the packing fraction of a diamond cubic structure. So now here this is a diamond structure. There are 8 corner atoms and face-centered atoms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 face-centered atoms. And in addition, there are atoms at the position half, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. So one atom is here. 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 3 by 4, another atom. 1 by 4, 3 by 4, 3 by 4, 1 by 4, and 3 by 4, 1 by 4, 3 by 4. So there are 4 atoms are within the cell, within the cubic structure. So if you project the atoms at the base, now here the corner atoms are represented by here 0. So the 0 represents the height from the base. So if you project, there is one atom here, one atom here at the corner of the square. So if you project the cubic structure on the base, and there are these 4 atoms are at the base. Then the base, this is face-centered atoms are represented by half, because this is a half unit from the base. That is the meaning of half unit. So if you assume 1 unit is the length of the side, then the half unit is the because it is at the center of each face. So this is half unit from the base. So the half. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. At the here there are 2 atoms, 0, 1. One corresponding to the base, and the one this number 1 corresponds to atom which is at the top surface here. So if you project downwards, you will get this is 0 and this is corresponds to 1. So these atoms. In addition, there are 4 atoms which are within the cell. So this is 1 by 4 unit from the base, and another atom which is also the 1 1 by 4th unit from the base. One atom is at the height 3 by 4th from the base, another one is 3 by 4th in the base. So the diamond structure can be represented by this projection on the base. Now the number of atoms contributed to the unit cell by the 8 corner atoms, because there are this is number 1 and 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 6 7 8. So there are 8 corner atoms. So each corner atom is shared by the neighboring 8 such cell. Therefore the contribution of any particular atom to a particular cell is 1 by 8. Since there are 8 atoms, so 8 and 1 by 8 which is equal to 1. So due to the contribution of 8 corner atoms to a particular cell is 1. Number of atoms contributed to the cell by the face center atom. Each face center atom, it shares 2 neighboring cells. So the contribution to the particular cell is 1 by 2. There are 6 face atoms. So 6 into 1 by 2 which is equal to 3. So there are 3 atoms. This is the contribution of atoms by the face center atom, which is 3. Number of atoms contributed by the body diagonal, because there are 4 atoms. 2 atoms are one body diagonal, another 2 atoms are another body diagonal. So ultimately there are 4 atoms are within the cell. So the total number of atoms in the unit diamond cell is 1 plus 3 plus 4 and 8. Now in a closely packed arrangement, the radius of the atom is determined. We have to find the radius of the atom. Now here you consider a atom at the corner 0 0 0, and the another atom which is a neighboring atom is 1 by 4 1 by 4 1 by 4. These 2 atoms touch each other along the body diagonal of the cubical structure. So once if you touch, the distance between the 2 atoms is 2r, if r is the radius. So the r is the radius, then 2r is the distance with the 2 atoms. But the 2 atoms lies on the body diagonal, and the length of the body diagonal is root 3a, because this is a, this is a, and this is a. So body diagonal. Here the face of the diagonal of one face is equal to root 2a, because this is a root 2a, and this is a root 2a, and the height this is also a. Therefore the length of the body diagonal is root 3. Therefore the length of the body diagonal is root 3a, but the atom lies at a distance 1 by 4. So the 2r will be the 1 by 4th of the total length of the body diagonal. So 1 by 4 into root 3 by a. Therefore the radius is equal to root 3 by 8 into a. So the packing factor or packing density is defined as the number of atoms in a unit cell into volume of one atom divided by volume of unit cell. So number of atoms in unit cell we have already calculated 8, and volume of one atom is equal to, if r is the radius of one atom, 4 by 3 pi r cube is the volume of the atom divided by the volume of the cell, because each side is a, so the volume of the cube which is a cube. But here the r value is already calculated, root 3 by 8a. So if substitute here, and if we simplify it, we will get this expression. So we will get a 0.34 or 34%. So this is the packing density of a diamond structure. So one simple cubic, a body, a BCC and FCC, HCP, and the diagonal structure. This is a low density, 0.34, which is low compared with the other type of structures. So this can be easily calculated easily. Then we go to the next question. Consider the crystal structure of sodium chloride, which is modeled as a set of touching spheres. Each sodium atom has a radius R1 and each chlorine atom has a radius R2. The center of the sphere forms a simple cubic lattice. The packing fraction of the system is, so there are 4 options are given. Options 1, 2, 3, there are 4 options are given. So in order to calculate the packing fraction, first let us draw the diagram corresponding to the NaCl crystal. So the blue color represents sodium atom. So this is represents sodium atom, and this represents chlorine. So they are ionic crystals. They are alternatively arranged. Now let us draw the same diagram. So you project this atom in the base. You draw the diagram only in the base itself. So here this is the sodium atom and this is a chlorine atom. If R1 is the radius of sodium and R2 is the radius of the chlorine, all the atoms they touch each other in the closely packed arrangement, and they touch each other. So this radius is sodium atom R1, radius of the chlorine atom is R2. So it is arranged like this. Now volume of the sodium atom within the cell is equal to, here there are 8 atoms, 8 they are the corner in the cube. So the contribution of each atom to the particular cell is 1 by 8. So if we take a sodium atom alone, there are 4 sodium atoms. The volume of sodium atom within the unit cell is 4 by 3 pi r cube is the volume of one sodium atom, and its contribution is only 1 by 8 into, because there are 8 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there are 8 corners. So 1 by 8 into 4 by 3 pi r cube is the volume of a sodium atom, one sodium atom is here. Since there are only 4 sodium atoms corresponding to each cell, so 4 sodium atoms. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 sodium atoms. Therefore, volume of the 4 sodium atoms is equal to 4 into and 1 by 8 into 4 by 3 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So this is the total volume of 4 sodium atoms. So similarly for chlorine atoms, the contribution of the chlorine atoms to a particular cell is since there are 8 corners, so the corner the 1 by 8 of the volume of the chlorine atom is within the cell, particular cell. So 1 by 8 into 4 by 3 pi r2 cube. Since there are 4 chlorine atoms, 4 into 1 by 8 into 4 by 3 pi r2 cube is the volume of the chlorine atoms within the cell. So the total volume of 4 sodium atoms and 4 chlorine atoms will be, you have to sum the two values. So if you will sum the two values, we will get this expression. 2 by 3 pi into r1 cube plus r2 cube. Now volume of the cube, that is the volume of the cell is equal to a cube. So here this is the A is equal to r1 plus r2. Since A is equal to r1 plus r2, because the two spheres touch each other, therefore A is equal to r1 plus r2. Therefore A cube is equal to r1 plus r2 the whole cube. Then the packing fraction is volume of hot sphere divided by the volume of the cell. Volume of the hot sphere is we have already calculated. 2 by 3 pi into r1 cube plus r1 cube plus r2 cube, and the volume of the cell is equal to r1 plus r2 cube. So if you substitute this value, you will get this one. So the option 2 is the correct option. So this way you can calculate the packing fraction. This can also be done by another way also. Suppose if you put putting r1 is equal to r2, the crystal becomes simple cube. So the radius if you substitute r1 is equal to r2, the crystal becomes simple cubic. So now you take the first option and substitute R1 is equal to R2, and once if you substitute R1 is equal to R2, you will get the packing fraction is equal to pi by 4. If we take the second option and again if we substitute R1 is equal to R2, we will get pi by 6. Pi by 6 is the packing factor for a crystal cube. So for the cubical structure, this is pi by 6. So if you put R1 is equal to R2, the structure becomes cubic, and the packing fraction that we know for the packing fraction for the simple cubic, which is pi by 6. If you choose option 3 and if you substitute R1 is equal to R2, then you will get 1 by 4, which is not the packing factor for simple cubic. So this is wrong. If you choose a fourth option and if you substitute R1 is equal to R2, you will get pi by 2, which is also wrong. So this is another method to calculate the options. So you take the answer, you substitute R1 is equal to R2. If you substitute R1 is equal to R2, the structure becomes a simple cubic. For simple cubic, packing factor is pi by 6. So the option 2 gives the correct value. So this is another way of finding the answer. The next question is, how many atoms per unit cell are in HCP structure, hexagonal closed type structure? Now here this is the diagram of the HCP. This is a hexagon, base as well as the top. You draw this diagram. So this is a hexagonal structure, and there are face-centered atoms at the top face and the bottom face also. And for the hexagonally closed arrangement, you have 3 more atoms which lies within the here. So this will be here. So in order to calculate this one, each corner atom is shared by 6 surrounding hexagonal cells. So if you choose any one particular atoms at the corner, and this is it is surrounded by neighboring 6 surrounding hexagonal cell. Therefore, the contribution by the corner atoms to a particular cell is 1 by 6. So this is 6 atoms corresponding to 1. So the contribution is 1 by 6. There are 12 such corner atoms. So the top there are 6 corner atoms. At the base you are having 6 corner atoms. So there are 12 atoms. So 1 by 6 into 12. So you will get 2. The contribution to the face-centered atoms. One in the upper face and the one is the lower face. Each face-centered atoms, the contribution is 1 by 2. And there are two such face-centered atoms. So 1 by 2 into 2, which is equal to 1. So this contribution is 1. The number of body-centered atoms. So in addition, there are these 3 atoms are within the cell. So this body-centered atom must be included. So ultimately this 2 plus 1 plus 3, which equals 6. So there are the number of atoms per cell in the HCP structure is 6. So this is another simple question. The next question is, the 2-dimensional lattice of graphene is an arrangement of carbon atoms forming honeycomb lattice of lattice cup spacing A, as shown below. The carbon atoms occupy the vertices. So the atoms, each atom, the corner atoms is occupied at each position. Now the question is, calculate the Wigner's cell and find the area of the Wigner's cell. So in order to find the area, there are different methods you can calculate the Wigner's cell. Now if you choose the 2-dimensional lattice, you choose one corner point as origin. From here you choose one atom, so you put 0 here. One neighboring atoms, here you are number 1, which is one neighboring atom. 2 is another neighboring atom. 3 is another neighboring atom. All the 3 are 3 neighboring atoms from the center atom. Now in order to find the Wigner's cell, you draw a perpendicular plane between 0 and 1. So one perpendicular plane. 0 to 2 you draw another perpendicular plane, 0 to 3 another draw perpendicular. So you draw a 3 perpendicular plane which forms a here triangle. So this is a closed surface. This closed surface is having number of lattice points per cell is 1, because there is only one lattice point at the center. So this is a minimum area cell. So this is called as a Wigner's cell. So Wigner's cell, you draw the bisectors from the point that you are considering to all the neighboring points, and the bisectors forms a closed area, and the area enclosed is called as Wigner's cell. So draw a perpendicular bisector to the lines 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 0 to 3, and the area enclosed is a Wigner's cell. Using geometry and find the area of the cell. So this is a triangle, and the area of the triangle is half times and the base, the length of the base you can easily, from the geometry you can easily find this is root 3a, and the height is vertical height is 3 by 2a. So once if you calculate, this is 3 root 3 by 4a square. So this is the area of the Wigner's. So once you draw a triangle, you know the from the geometry you can calculate the length of the triangle, the one side of the triangle, as well as the height, vertical height from which is can be also calculated, because it is the equilateral triangle. So from this you can calculate the area 3 root 3 by 4 a. Another method is the area of Wigner's cell is the area of normal cell divided by the effective number. The area of the normal cell means normal cell is the hexagon is a normal. The side of each is the side of the hexagon is A. So you can calculate the area of the hexagon, and the area of the hexagon you can find this is because of the side. This side is A, and this angle is between the any two line is 120 degree. So you can calculate the area of the this hexagon easily. That is 3 root 3 by 2 a square is the area of the cell. So first you calculate the area of the normal cell. Then let us find the n effective, the effective number of atoms particular corresponding to the particular cell. Now if you take any one atom, this atom corresponds, this is a 3 neighboring cells are shared by this each atom. So the contribution to particular cell is 1 by 3. So the contribution to the cell is 1 by 3. There are 6 corner atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 into 1 by 3, which gives 2. So this is n effective. So n effective can be determined. So the area of the Wigner's cell is the area of the cell divided by the n effective. Once if you substitute this, you will get this is 3 into 3 a square by 4. So the option D is correct. So either by drawing the vertical lines, the bisectors, and forming a Wigner's cell, and you can calculate, or you find the area of the normal cell and divided by its the effective number of atoms per the cell. Then you calculate and you can find this Wigner's cell. So by any method you can calculate these. Now for the same problem, the Bryce lattice for this array is a rectangular lattice with a basis vectors d1, d2, rectangular lattice with basis vectors c1 and c2, hexagonal lattice with basis vectors a1, a2, hexagonal lattice with the basis vectors b1, b2. So the diagram is given and all the values a1, a2, b1, b2 and so on. Now here the basis vectors, this is the Bryce lattice. These vectors are along the sides of the hexagon. So this is your Bryce lattice. So option C is the correct one. Now let us take one more problem using hexagonal lattice. Consider hexagonal lattice basis vectors are shown in the below. The lattice spacing A is given as 1 unit. The reciprocal lattice is. So this lattice is given. A1, A2 are also given. So from this you have to find the reciprocal lattice. So from the figure we can write A1. So because this is A1 and this is A2. A2 is lies along the y-axis. If you have A1, find the vector along the x-axis. So this is A1 vector can be the magnitude of A1 cos 30 degree along x plus A1 sin 30 degree y. So you can write down this expression, and the magnitude A1 is root 3a, because cos 30, you know the value of cos 30. So A1 can be also determined very easily, because this magnitude is equal to root 3a. So once we substitute this value here, root 3a, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, sin 30 is half. So finally this is your expression for A1. Similarly A2 is equal to, since lies along the y-axis, A2 y, and value of A2 is equal to, because this is A and this is A. So this you can calculate this value. My magnitude A2, because this angle is 120 degree. This is 120 degree, and therefore we can calculate A2 also. So A1 and A1 if you calculate is root 3a, and A2 is root 3a. So this is root 3ay. So A2 can calculate. So write down the A1, which is the permutation lattice vector. Another permutation lattice is A2 is root 3ay. So from the diagram, first write down the permutation lattice vectors corresponding to A1, A2, and let us assume A3, which is along the, because the diagram is only a two-dimensional diagram. So in order to find the reciprocal lattice, we must know all the three vectors. So choose A3 vector, which is equal to Az. So let us assume this one. Then what is the volume of this permittive lattice? Volume is equal to A1 dot A2 cross A3. So this is the expression for the volume. So you know A1, A2, A3, and once you substitute, you will get the volume is this. A2, A3 can be determined, and if you make a dot product with A1, you will get. Then also A3 cross A1. So you have A3 vector and A1 vector, and find a cross product, you will get this. So A3 cross A1. So what is the reciprocal lattice vector? By the definition, the reciprocal lattice vector is given by A1 star vector. The star represents the reciprocal lattice vector, which is equal to 2 pi into A2 cross A3 by V. V is the volume of the cell. A2 cross A3 we have already calculated. So this value is equal to, you substitute here, and V is also calculated. Once you substitute of these values, finally we will get this expression. So this is the reciprocal lattice vector A1 star, and also you find A2 star. A2 star is equal to 2 pi A3 cross A1 by V. A3 cross A1 we have already calculated. You substitute this value, and V, volume of the cell, is already known. So once you substitute this is it. So now let us put A is equal to 1 unit value, because for the problem A is 1 is given. So A1 star is equal to 4 by 3 unit vector x plus 0 y, and A2 star is equal to minus 2 pi by 3 unit vector x plus 2 pi by 3 y. So you note among the 4 options, the option A is the correct one. So you prefer all the 4 options, the first option A is the correct one. So this can be done in that way. Now we take the next question. The primitive lattice vectors of a two-dimensional lattice are up to A is given, B is also given. The primitive translation vectors of reciprocal lattice vectors. So there are 4 options are given. You are asked to find the primitive lattice vectors. Now here you have to use this property. This is important, because the reciprocal lattice vector dotted with the vector of the direct lattice gives 2 pi. So A star dot A is equal to 2 pi. The reciprocal lattice vector dotted with the direct lattice vector is equal to 2 pi. Similarly, for this is true for all other vectors. B star dot B is equal to 2 pi. Now here also you choose C is equal to some magnitude C times unit vector K, which is the third direction. Then you use the definition A star is equal to 2 pi into B cross C dot A dot B cross C. B is given, C is also we have chosen. So for B cross C, so B cross C is found this value. The volume is A dot B cross C. So once if you do this one, we will get this. You have found this is 4C. So if you substitute this value, then A star is equal to 2 pi into B cross C is this value. Volume is 4C. So once if you substitute, you get this pi unit vector I minus pi by 2j. So this is only for the option B. This is right. So among all these four, the A star is for the option B. A star is equal to pi I minus pi by 2j. So you can easily calculate the reciprocal lattice vector. The next problem is a simple cubic crystal with lattice parameter A suffix C undergoes transition into a tetragonal structure with lattice parameter A suffix T, which is equal to B suffix T, which is equal to root 2 times A suffix C, and C suffix T is equal to 2 times A suffix C below a certain temperature. The ratio of interplanar spacing of 1001 planes for the cubic and tetragonal structure is. So there are four options are given. The suffix C represents for cubical system, suffix T represents for the tetragonal system. Now the solution is for a for a cubical system, you know this expression. First, what is the cubical system? Cubical systems are the lengths are equal and the angles are 90 degrees. Alpha, beta, gamma are 90 degrees. For tetragonal, two lengths are equal and the height C is different. Alpha, beta, but the angles are 90 degrees. So that is the difference between cubical and tetragonal system. For a cubical system, 1 by d for the cubical system, d square, d is the interplanar distance between the successive HKL plane, which is given by h square plus k square plus l square by a square, where a is the side of the cube. So this is the expression. For tetragonal system, 1 by dt square, this is for the tetragonal system, this is h square by a square plus k square by b square plus l square by c square, where a is equal to. So you know these two expressions. So for the plane interplanar spacing, the plane is similar. Plane is given as 101. So 101 plane. First you take for a cubical system, that expression you substitute h is equal to 1, k is equal to 0, and l is equal to 1. And once if you substitute this, you will get the expression 1 by dc square is equal to 2 by ac square, or dc square is equal to ac square by 2. So you can calculate for the cubical system. For tetragonal system, then let us consider that expression for tetragonal system 1 by d square is equal to here h is equal to h square by a square. A is equal to root 2 ac, because this is given here. This is given. So you substitute root 2 ac, and k square by this k is 0. So you have this term, and l is equal to 1, because 101 plane. So this is 1. Here this is c. C is given as 2ac. So you substitute here. Once if you simplify, you will get 1 by dt square is equal to 3 by 4 ac square, or dt square is equal to 4 by 3 ac square. So now let us find the ratio. dc square by dt square is equal to, you have calculated dc square, we have calculated dt square. Once if you substitute and simplify, you will get 3 by 8, and if you are taking the square root, dc by dt is equal to square root of 3 by 8. So the option C is the correct answer. So we have discussed some important problems related to the NET GATE set examination.